Shabbat Shalom. Thanks. When you're still in rabbinical school, one of the highlights is spending time with other seminarians, spending time with folks, different religions, who all just love talking and thinking and generally just nerding out about religion. And it's especially fun when we are different faith traditions, but we share a very similar background. And one day I was doing one of these interfaith dialogues, and one of the other people there, different than me, I won't say which background, but one of the Abrahamic faiths narrows it down. We were talking about this very fact, the fact that we share so many of the same central figures in both our traditions. But it became very quickly apparent that while we knew some of the same people, so to speak, we saw them in very different ways. We're talking about Abraham. And he was like, oh, yes, Abraham's the father of three major world religions. I was like, oh, yes, definitely true. He's like, he was such a man of such strong faith. I said, oh, yes, definitely, such strong faith. And he said, and there's no way anyone today could be as great as Abraham. Wait, what? I'm sorry, come again. He explained to me, well, Abraham had a special soul. He was more holy. He was superior to anyone who exists now. Are we talking about the same Abraham? You sure? And I asked him, referencing Lech Lecha, just read, there's that time, though, that Abraham told a guy that his wife was really his sister, so that guy took his wife to be his wife and didn't really get outed about it until God came and sorted the whole thing out. And by the way, he got a bunch of riches and gold and animals and fun stuff. So, what's up with that? And the guy explained to me, well, as if I'd forgotten, it was actually okay that all of that went down. It's okay that Abraham never admitted he actually did the wrong thing because he didn't do the wrong thing. Didn't do the wrong thing. I was like, so many of our biblical figures, our biblical heroes, they messed up. It's okay. Abraham did it, and Sarah does it. She's really mean to her servant who gets pregnant because Sarah wants her to get pregnant. That's not so good. Moses hit the rock, famous example. God says, talk to the rock. Moses hits the rock. He messed up. He did the wrong thing. No one in our shared biblical history, I said, was perfect. You should have seen his face. He looked like I ran over his dog. He was aghast. He said, oh, no, none of those things are actually bad because, you tilt your head and you squint real hard. You can see, actually, it's fine. They're fine. All of our matriarchs, all of our patriarchs, completely perfect in every way. We went a few rounds. We had to agree to disagree. I totally agree that Abraham was a great guy. He was a great guy. He was by no means perfect, though, clearly, as we see in Lech Lecha. And as Jews, we know this. We know this. We know, though, that the power of Torah comes not in the perfection of the people on the page, but in their humanity. The Torah doesn't obscure the fact that Abraham messed up. It's very clearly written there. And so then when we see his story, we don't see the story of some vaunted saint. Jews, we don't have saints. When we see his story, we see ourselves. When we read the tales of any of our biblical heroes, we hear echoes of our own lives, because good or bad, they contain truth. When we read about Joseph meeting up with his brothers after decades apart and he cries with joy, that's real. We know how that feels because we've all been separated from our family for school or for work. And when you come home and you see them, that's when you know you're home. We know that feeling. When you read about Rachel saying to Jacob, give me children or I will die, that resonates. We know how that feels. So many of us struggle to conceive, and the depths of that emptiness, there's no bottom. We know that. That's real. When we read about God, and God, the Torah says, regretted creating humanity after seeing how evil humanity had become in the time of Noah, that's palpable. That's real. We know that feeling. We know how it feels to have such high hopes and bitter disappointment. We can see ourselves in our biblical text, not because our pages are peopled with the perfect, no, but because ours is a Torah of truth. And truth is more important, more helpful, and more real than perfection. I don't want Abraham and Sarah and Moses to be perfect. I don't need the whole gang to be perfect, because I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. It feels like all the time. The Torah would mean less to me if I was supposed to look up to it as a paragon of perfection, as perfection that was this goal I was supposed to attain. It wouldn't look real to me. It wouldn't look like my own life, my own experiences, my own struggles. And whether you believe that the Torah is full of historical figures or the metaphorical, it doesn't actually really matter in this case which you believe, because either way, it's full of regular, old people. People like me, like you. People. Rabbi Mark Angel, who's a Sephardi Orthodox rabbi, he says, our great biblical heroes many times performed admirably, and on some occasions they fell short. To suggest that any one is perfect, he says, totally devoid of error, of mistakes, misrepresents that person and misrepresents the truth. Perfection is not truth. It doesn't do us any good to hold up perfection as something to aspire to. It actually hurts us to do that, because you will never have the perfect job. You will never have the perfect body. You will never be the perfect partner, the perfect son, the perfect daughter, the perfect friend. And when we expect perfection out of ourselves, every time we don't hit that mark, it hurts us. It hurts us. And if we expect perfection out of ourselves, we will expect it out of other people. And then they will constantly disappoint us. By presenting our biblical heroes not as these mythical figures, but as well-rounded human beings, individuals just like us, the Torah is telling us it's okay when you make mistakes. It is okay to mess up. Look, even Abraham did it. Abraham. Doesn't mean we shouldn't look at him as a generally good person. He had lots of great qualities, and we should emulate those good qualities. And he made some uh-ohs. And that's okay, because we make uh-ohs too. It doesn't make us irredeemable, it doesn't make us bad. It doesn't mean we shouldn't try to be the best us we can be. It means we have to have some compassion when we don't hit the mark every time. Keats said that beauty is truth. Truth, beauty. The beauty of Torah, the beauty of Jewish tradition, the beauty of being a Jew is in the truth. The recognition that all of us are fallible, and beauty is when we stumble and we fall and we get right back up again. Shabbat Shalom.